everybody. This is Pastor Paul Graham, and I want to welcome you to another BBC Unplugged, where I am your host, and this is Lala James.
What's up, everybody? Good evening, Lala James, co-host, BBC Unplugged.
Yes, and today we are going to be talking about a crazy subject, which is, I don't know what to say about this one. What do you say about this one?
Women proposing to men. It's a new age. Apparently
it's a new age.
It's a new age.
I'm telling you right now, I don't think it would have worked for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you.
Nah, I wouldn't be doing that.
I'm just saying this might be the only thing we agree on. It may be the only thing we agree on. But we want to welcome you to another BBC Unplugged. We are going to be talking about such a subject as this. I'm going to be talking from the pulpit, and you know who is going to be talking from the pew.
Straight from the pew.
Right. So before we begin, we want to ask the Holy Spirit to be with us as we just ask each one of you to, get deep in this subject as we talk about women proposing to men. So let's bow our heads together as we invite God's Spirit into this place, into this discussion. So, Father, we come before you. Thank you for everything you've done for us. We thank you for life and for strength and this opportunity to talk a little bit about a subject of marriage, a subject in marriage. Now, be with us and bless us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Hey, all right, so here we go. Should women propose to men? Is that something that, wow.
But why should women propose to men, though? I mean, this isn't a question if we are able to do so. Of course we're able to do so, but why? I mean, why is that necessary?
I mean, does it come out of desperation? Is it out of desperation, or is it just someone making the first move? There are many men out there who will not make the first move. They are not aggressive. They are not the ones that will move forward. So,
and that's where I say you got to man up.
Oh,
that's where I say you got to man up. I mean, men are to be the aggressors, and because we have so many men who are not manning up, if you will, we have a lot of women that are taking it upon themselves to be the aggressor and to go and get what they want, and that's out of our role. That's outside of our role.
Well, that might be out of your role.
No,
I'm just saying it might be out of your role.
I said out of a woman's role.
Out of a woman's role. So is it the woman's role to wait for the man to propose? That brother may never propose.
I think it is the woman's role to allow the man to be a man. That's what I think.
It's the woman's role to allow a man to be a man. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The reason why I say that is because we have a lot of women who, because of circumstance, we've had to do the independent woman movement thing. We've had to go out and get our own. We've had to do, because there's been a lack of a man in the house. Okay?
All right.
And so because of that, women have assumed that role. And they have then taught their daughters to also act in that manner. And so when their daughters now come up and roll up on a dude that, they like.
roll up on a dude.
Roll up on a dude that they like. Then the only way they know how to do it is attack him like how they attack everything else.
But does that proposal, women proposing to men, start with when a woman wants to date a guy, she will say, I'll buy that guy a drink at a bar.
Yes.
I'll walk up. I mean, is it the same thing?
Yes, I think there's a good balance, though. I think there's a good balance, because I don't think that the woman needs to sit in a corner and just wait to be noticed.
Okay.
I don't think that. But I do think that in that game of noticing one another, if you will, I think that it's important that we play that game fairly.
She said fairly.
I think we be fair about it,
okay.
and we play the game like it should be played. So I dig you, you dig me, digging you, you dig me, I dig you, digging me.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I think we have to be real about what it is we're looking at, and the guy can't just sit down and play games and be like, well, she need to come over here, and she can't do the same thing. Well, he need to come over here. Let's dance.
I just think that even though I do agree with what you're saying, I still think to some degree that what if you have a passive guy? A guy that really wants to marry this woman.
Let me tell you something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish
really
about this.
Wants to marry this woman.
Guy.
He really wants to marry this woman. He really loves this woman. He wants to spend the rest of his life with this woman. But let's just say that he has an esteem issue where he's afraid of getting turned down. I'm just saying, or he's just not that aggressive kind of guy. What do you say to something like that?
I think that excuse that I'm not that aggressive or I'm a passive person is an excuse. People go after what they want.
Okay, I agree with that.
Period.
And
so yeah, you may be passive. You may have the personality type where you kind of lay back and stuff like that. But I promise you, if you want something, you're gonna go get it.
It's true. If you want something, you're gonna go get it. So then, if a woman wants something, can she go get it? Is it out of her role to go and get it? Because it's not out of a role for a woman. I'm just saying, it's not out of a role for a woman to make more than a man. It's not out of a role for a woman to buy her own house. It's not out of a role for a woman to buy that new car. It's not out of a role for her to succeed in that part of your life. But in this other part of your life, you can't do that.
I think the reason why in this part of your life it's important that we adjust, and let me talk about the adjustment.
Okay.
That we adjust how we are. For example, at my office, I'm the director of my office.
Okay.
So I have men and women working for me, if you will.
Okay.
And so at the office, I'm a totally different person than I am in my house. I'm not coming home.
Better beat any. Oh, sorry, excuse me. No. What I said was that knowing the kind of fella that your husband is, he won't have that.
He ain't having it.
Corporate talk in his house.
Exactly. And so what I have to do as a female,
right?
Because I am in the workplace and because of my role at the workplace, I have to adjust when I get home.
Okay.
And I think that's fair. So I think that that then transitions now over to relationships, because I think with the man being the head of the house, the head of a home, which means that, and yeah, we're gonna get into that because I see your face.
Oh, no, I'm getting there.
So with the man being the head of the home, it is his responsibility to not only build the home as he wants it, as the vision for his house,
right,
his home, but to also protect it and to make sure that it is in place.
Okay, I feel to some degree, personally, that if a man is going to be the head of the house, then I think it takes away a lot when she proposes to him to start him being the head of the house.
Yes.
That's I'm digging that.
Right.
Okay, I can understand that. But for some reason or the other, though I agree with you, I'm finding that when a woman is more aggressive, she will take the lead role in certain things.
Absolutely.
Or she will take the lead role in certain things. So then it might matter how your relationship has been since you've been dating. Mm-hmm. So if you've been dating and she's been setting up the dates,
that's what's going to happen.
I need to make sure your face is on it. All right, good. If she's been setting up the dates, she's been buying his clothes. I mean, that's, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
She's been taking care of house.
Right.
As a girlfriend, many people live together. I'm not saying that we agree with it.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we're talking about society today. He buys a car. She's the one taking care of the bills. She takes care of this, that, and the other, even in the dating world.
Right.
I don't see where in that relationship, she manned up, right? She assumes the role of saying, let's get this party started when it comes to marriage. I don't agree with it, but I still think, as someone wrote in the chat room, it's a part of the chase.
Okay, so you're saying that if she does all these things before marriage, pre-marriage, right, then there should not be a switch?
Can't be a switch. You'll mess everything up.
Okay, so she should set precedent before they are married.
I think he should, but yes, I understand.
Well, yes, precedent should be set
before
they are married. So if she's the one buying the clothes, if she's the one doing this. Now, I think there's a little bit of a difference. So I think that there is the head of the home in terms of you setting the atmosphere for your home.
Okay.
And what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Mm-hmm. And then there is the daily operations of your home.
All right.
The daily operations being, making sure that things are handled and the home is managed appropriately. Now, I think the woman takes the lead on that.
Okay.
But that's under the umbrella of the vision for the home.
Okay.
And I think that is set by the man. And I think, and this is why I have an issue with women doing the proposals, is because it's like as if though she's going out and she's deciding to build her own team that he's going to be a part of.
Oh my goodness!
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I'm saying that.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you, but yeah, I see.
Right. So when he goes out and he builds the team, then he now is setting the parameters for that home, the vision for that home, and he's selecting based on what he wants for his home.
Okay.
And I think that's fair to say. I don't think there's anything that removes. There's nothing being removed from a woman and a woman's role in saying that he is the head of the home and that's his role. And then when you are chosen, and if you accept, because we still have power to accept, if we want to be a part of, if you choose to accept, then at that point, then you now take the lead on the management of what he has put in place.
Does it castrate a man, Landy? Does it? I'm just asking.
Since you want to use that word?
Well, that's the word you use.
You're right. You're right.
If it does it castrate a man to have his woman propose to him for marriage? I mean, maybe that's a call in. I don't know. You know, what's your mindset on that? Yeah,
so let me just give you the number.
I think I know what you're thinking anyway, but still.
Let me just give you the number. So the number is 347-989-8128 if you would like to speak. We do have the blog talk, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so 347-989-8128 if you want to speak with us, press 1. Or you can just listen and we won't bother you unless you press 1. And then we would patch you into the studio.
Okay. I mean, so the real question is here: does it castrate a man? Does it take away a man's manhood for a woman to propose?
I think it's a hit on his manhood.
You think it's a hit on his manhood?
I think it's a hit on his manhood, and I think that it sets precedent from that moment forward.
Wow.
I think it does. I think it does. I think that, like I just said, I think she's attempting to build a team that he should be building.
Wow. I mean, but you speak to this. You speak on the issue like it's a corporate issue.
No,
that's what you sound like.
No,
you sound like this is your corporate job. It builds on a team, and I mean, who's the boss in the house? Does it take away him being the boss of the house? Her asking. I just know one thing. My kids come to me and say, "Daddy, how did you ask mommy to marry?" I'm telling you, my kids will say that. My kids will say,
absolutely.
My kids will say, "How did you ask mommy to marry?"
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine me saying, "Well,
mommy asked me."
Mommy asked me. My son will look at me and be like, "What the?"
What? Exactly.
It don't even sound spiritual.
Exactly.
Watch it.
Exactly.
It don't even sound spiritual.
Right.
All right. For me, it doesn't sound spiritual.
No, and I agree, but I think that the mere fact that she steps out and does that, makes that move, I think it sets precedent for the relationship. Okay. I think it sets precedent. Not that cannot be changed once the relationship has taken hold.
What's the precedent that she's setting?
She's setting the precedent that, okay, you're not moving fast enough, so I'm going to get this done.
Okay, so like when my wife says to me, "Can you please take out the garbage?" I'm just saying, "Can you please take out the garbage? Can you please take out the garbage?"
She's saying, "You're not moving fast enough. Don't make me have to go and do it myself."
Well, brother, you're not asking me to marry you, so don't let me do this myself.
Don't let me have to do this
you
myself.
You better come up with a 3-week plan.
I think that's important. I think that's important, and I think it's crucial that from jump, you set the necessary, because once you get in that thing, and if you have a woman who's aggressive enough to step out of herself and make sure, okay, well, he ain't doing this, well, let me go ahead on and do this. If you have a woman who's aggressive enough to do that, then dude, you better make a decision real quick on how you gonna handle it.
I'm gonna tell you something. A woman that's aggressive. See, I believe that a woman will do either one thing or the other. I really believe either a woman's gonna ask you to marry him, or is gonna ask him to marry her, or she's gonna leave. I think an aggressive woman would do one or the other. I also think that a smart woman would drop seeds.
Absolutely.
I just think that a smart woman would drop seeds.
Absolutely. I think that is the role that the woman plays in that, because no one, like you just said, no one wants to be rejected.
That's true.
And so she has to let him know in her own way. And women, we know how to do it. Okay. We drop hints all the time.
That's saying that because it's true. Y'all know how to do it.
We know how to do it. We know how to drop seeds. We know how to give hints.
You know how to be manipulative.
We know how to do our thing.
I'll say the word. Hold on a second. Let me put you on that. Say the word.
No. We know how to do our thing.
So that's not manipulation.
No, that's not manipulation. That is the role that we play in this whole thing.
I'm beginning to think that's all a man got is to ask for somebody to marry him. So you better use it.
But I think it is the woman's role to drop hints.
Right.
To let him know that, if you ask me, it may turn out in your favor.
It may. I think that before a person asks you, you would already know that they're going to say yes.
Absolutely.
All right, but
some women may not want to say that.
Okay.
They may not want to let you know that.
Okay. So let's play a real quick clip. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to play a real quick clip. You like that? A real quick clip.
Real quick clip.
A real quick clip of a woman who asks a man to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna just let you know this is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. I think there was a little cuss in there. Were you able to bleep out the cuss?
I wasn't able to bleep out the cuss, but her mouth was there moving. So,
all right.
You know, this is not a children's show. Y'all gonna be okay.
Bless your heart. Here we go. Here we go.
Are you ready? Come on. Okay, go.
So basically, I just wanted to say. Will you marry me? It's a leap year, so otherwise you'll have to wait more 4 years.
Stop. It's not funny. It's not funny.
That is hilarious. I'm sorry. It's
funny.
funny. It's more than funny. So obviously, she said something about 2 weeks. She talking about a leap year.
Somebody to guess number 240 said 2 weeks.
I mean,
Natasha D says, "Wait,
that is hilarious. That's hilarious because it's hilarious because obviously, if she decided to come out of herself and ask him to marry her, she didn't take the signs.
No. Well, listen what Donnie is saying. Donnie's on Kwani's thing. What he's saying, and there's still rolling. So what he's saying is that it's been 2 weeks. She moved there from wherever she was.
They're cracking up in the chat room right now.
Well, hey, I mean,
but obviously, so she didn't see the signs.
She didn't see the signs
where it looked like the ground had been prepared.
Okay.
For fertilization.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good. I like that.
It didn't look like she paid attention.
Okay.
Okay, and she looked a little special too, if you ask me.
Ooh.
But I'm just saying. So, but I actually found a an article on the internet giving step by step how to propose to your boyfriend.
Okay.
Right? Step by step. I'm not gonna give all the steps because
no, go ahead.
I don't need people to try this.
But remember what you're saying. What you're saying is there's a step by step of how to propose to your boyfriend. Is that what you're saying? Basically what you're giving us right now is something that you don't even agree with.
I don't agree with.
You just help.
But what I'm saying is
the lonely ones.
No, what I'm saying is there is a school of thought, and there is actually a process.
Okay.
Behind doing this for women.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying that there exists a process.
Okay.
And one of the steps says, reach your sense of comfort, with being able to go and actually ask him, And then the other thing was, consider if you're enlightened enough to handle this.
Okay.
Consider if you are okay with doing this.
Okay.
So that alone should tell you that something just is not normal with it, with asking. Because they're trying to first make sure that you're okay with what you're about to do. Now, I'm sure dudes go ahead and they make sure that they're okay with what they're about to do. But the additional element for a woman is you're a woman and you're doing this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so one of the other things was to make sure that he is prepared, that he is okay, that he is ready for it, that you think that he will say yes. And it's obvious from this video that we just saw that she wasn't paying attention, because
she wasn't paying attention from get-go.
Because as soon as the words came out of her mouth, his face changed.
Yeah.
And she did it in a room full of his friends, who I think were drinking. So you put yourself on Front Street to be embarrassed.
What? I'm just saying.
So you put yourself on Front Street to be embarrassed.
Yeah, it's true. She wasn't sure. She was hoping for the moment. She was hoping for the moment. And then remember what she also said. I'm going to put it here in the chat room, right? She mentioned something of a leap year. Okay, she mentioned something of a leap year. And I want everyone to understand that it is a folklore, or it's a tradition for since 2,000 years, that every time a leap year comes, it's an Irish tradition, okay? That every time that a leap year comes, that is the only time when a woman is supposed to or is allowed to ask a man to marry her. That's where that comes from, the leap year, okay? So in the leap year, that's the only time that you have that opportunity to ask a man to marry you, and it's okay. And if you notice, when she was on her knees, she said, it's a leap year, okay? It's an Irish tradition. I'm telling you right now, it's not a Black American tradition. It's not a Jamaican tradition. Is it a VI tradition?
It definitely ain't no VI tradition.
It's not. It's just either. Okay, someone says somebody's drunk in love. I don't get it.
I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
I think but people are doing it. Women are doing it.
So what? You know what we should not do? I tell you what we should not do. What we should not do is say we should give. My opinion is I wouldn't do it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I can see where a person would do it. I'm going to ask at this time, if there's anyone who wants to call in at this time, give us your opinion on it. Call us at 347-989-8128. That's 347-989-8128. Let us know what you think about the matter. Should a woman propose to a man, or is it okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
As a guy, how would you feel if you were dating someone? So, you and Wendy were dating, right? Mm-hmm. How would you feel if she decided to propose to you? How would you, as a man, feel? I mean,
I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. I have a unique relationship with Wendy, and what I mean by that is, if she did that joint without anybody, she wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, you got to be blubbering because she wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
She wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm just saying she wouldn't do it. But let's just say she did. Let's say one of my exes, all right? One of my exes came to me that I couldn't do it. I just be like, I think it's a little desperate.
Yes.
That's me.
I asked my husband the same thing.
Maybe it's my culture.
I asked Al the same thing. If I approached you and I asked you to marry me, he said he would begin to question my sanity.
Okay.
Because maybe, like you said, maybe it's our culture. But that doesn't happen. Culturally, that does not happen.
Okay.
And, and he would think twice whether or not he would want to spend the rest of his life with me. Because...
Come on, stop.
Because something has really gone wrong with me. But I would love, and I doubt, especially since we talked about it so badly, but I would doubt if someone would call in and be like, yeah, I would do it, and this is why I would do it. But again, remember, we're not single now in this day and age.
That's true.
And women are
It's a different
yes, it's a completely different ball game. Women are, they're more aggressive
Okay.
than they were before.
Okay. Right.
They're more aggressive, and so that may cause a woman to be comfortable enough to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do,
Right.
and I'm gonna be okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we have a caller on, but they haven't pressed once. I don't know if you want to talk, but if you want to talk, please, and you've called, press 1 so we can know here in the studio that you want to talk. If you're just listening, it's fine. But if you want to talk, just press 1.
Okay. So in this now, someone is going biblical in a sense. All right. Did Ruth go to marry Boaz? You know, that's a whole different subject right there. But I just really feel that if a woman is strong in her relationship, and a man is strong in his relationship with his with his girlfriend, and she comes and says, "Listen, I want to marry you," and she gets on her knees and she sets up this thing and she marries this person. I'm sorry, and she asks this person, and he says yes. You know, it's a difficult legacy for me. Yeah. It may not be a difficult legacy for another person. I know I'm bringing up a whole new thing, but I remember when homosexuality was just unheard of. You couldn't talk about it. You couldn't think about it. You know, even in our church, it was like, oh my goodness, got to be crazy. Even in society, it's unbelievable. But then, homosexuality is easy to talk about.
Right.
Okay? It's easy to talk about. So then, why couldn't the roles be changed? Or why couldn't someone do this? I mean, can we...
so as time progresses, and as life happens, as things, you know, as things change, this may become more of a norm. Wow. So what does that do then for the man? What does that do for the role of the man?
Does it leave him castrated? And that's what we want to know. That's what we're asking that question. You know, does it leave someone? Does it take away your manhood to do that?
I think it's a big mistake to reverse roles in the household. I think it's a big mistake when the lines are blurred. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that song.
In a home, we're not talking about the song though. I think it's a big mistake because the ordained relationship, if you will, for the home is now being compromised. And when we get away from that, I mean, what does that do? I mean, what does that mean? You know?
Or what does that teach your children?
What does that teach your children?
What does it teach your daughters?
Right.
You know, and again, you know, I hate to sound. I feel like we're sounding a little
chauvinistic and you know,
the word racist want to come out of my mouth, but it's not the right word. But you know, but it's just something that I can't do. It's something that I can't do. I can't accept. Wendy came to me 14 years ago and said, "Paul, get on her one knee and you know,
wow.
get on our."
I mean, that even sounds funny.
It does sound funny.
Her get down on one knee, looking really. Yo, that sounds crazy. I'm sorry. That wouldn't be for me. That wouldn't be for me. 347-989-8128. If you want to talk to us, press 1. Okay. We do have someone on the line that would like to speak with us. The last 4 digits is 2147. You are on with BBC Unplugged. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello?
Hi, yes, we hear you.
Oh, this is Donnie.
What's
hey.
We're in trouble now. Go ahead, Donnie. How are you?
No. Y'all not in trouble or nobody's in trouble. I was just very curious when I saw that post on Facebook about a woman proposing. I mean, I understand there was some stuff before that, but I don't think I could let a woman propose to me because I'm going off of more of tradition.
Okay.
I'm going more so off of tradition than anything else. And I think a piece of my manhood would be, I would have to have my man card taken if I accepted a proposal from a woman.
Your man card,
Yeah, I would agree with you, Donnie. I would agree.
Now, it's also a thin line because you also have, in this day of age, more aggressive women than you had, in the earlier time in the 50s or 60s or 70s or 30s or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, it's shifting to where women, if they want a man, they'll walk up to him and let him know, hey, I want you. But at the same time, why can't they also propose? That's just me. I wouldn't allow it because that's just me.
So
But
Donnie,
what is wrong with the woman
with it.
proposing?
Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
but okay, so Donnie, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If you were dating someone and they propose, what would be your response?
Well,
What would be
ask
your
him about
thought?
his wife. Ask him about his wife. You did it to me. Do it to him.
If Kwani, y'all, this is Kwani's husband. You know, the Kwani who be calling in. This is her husband, Donnie. All right. So Donnie, if Kwani proposed to you, what would be?
Now,
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
now, people that know my story know that I do a lot of things that Kwani has told me to do. But this would be one thing that I'll be like, hold up. No, I would have to. If he did it in public, I would be like, okay, I'll be walking away with my tail tucked between my legs because.
So okay, so what you're saying?
Wrong.
So what you're saying though, then, it's a castrating action.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Okay.
I mean, it's tradition, but it's like I'm playing the devil's advocate. I wouldn't allow it, but what's wrong with it if a woman did it?
Mm.
And so
I'll tell you what's wrong with it.
Go ahead, Kwani.
Go ahead.
The very reason that he's saying that he would not allow it, that's precisely what's wrong with it.
Go ahead, Kwani.
Because again, going back to what Landy said, you are setting the tone for the rest of the relationship. Now, if you come propose to somebody, that is your way of saying, I have gone and I have established a home for us. I have established a life for us. Mm-hmm. Let me come take care of you.
Right.
That is what the proposal is saying.
Right.
You see,
if a woman comes to a man and proposes to him, what kind of home has she established for him?
You see, I think when you speak like that, Kwani, I think what's happening here is people are forgetting what a proposal is. A proposal is not a hope that the future is going to work out.
Right.
A proposal is I have set the groundwork, not only in dating you, but for what life will be like.
Right.
And then I'm asking because I'm leading the way in setting the groundwork for this. And I'm just saying when a woman does that, I believe that a woman can ask a man to propose, but what she's going to be doing for the rest of her life is getting him to propose for the kids, getting him to propose for what
right.
She's setting the groundwork for these important aspects in life. And
I agree.
And I just simply think that there would be a big, as Donnie said, there would be a big shift. There will have to be a big shift after that. I'm just saying. I just can't see one of your sons coming to Donnie and saying, Daddy, how did mommy meet? How did you ask mommy? And you said, well, mommy asked me. So,
yeah. See, that just it sounds funny. How did mommy propose to you? Really? Then what are we telling our young men growing up now as far as what the proposal means?
Uh-huh.
I honestly never had anyone to tell me what a proposal really meant for a woman.
Right.
So if we're saying it's okay for a woman to do everything that a man does but propose, I mean, it's just, I understand there are roles in a relationship. It's just some things I think have to stay the way it has been done traditionally. I mean, this is just one thing that I don't think should shift. Okay, a woman being a CEO or being, whatever, in charge of a business or, a leader, that's fine. But like Landy said, she's in charge out in the workplace, but when she comes home, she knows that she's putting the key into the house of Al James.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And the thing about that is for me as a woman, as his wife, that takes nothing from me. As a matter of fact, that adds to me.
Wow.
I feel good. I feel good knowing that I have someone who has created an atmosphere of protection and love for his family, and I'm a part of it. So that's
Exactly.
so that's nothing. I enjoy that.
You know, let me say this. My sister-in-law sent me something this morning. I think she also sent.
Yeah.
Was it last night? She sent me something. I'm going to give a shout out to Avia Banks. She sent something to me yesterday, on 10 mistakes women do in relationships. Okay? And I want to say this, right? For a woman to be able to propose to a man, whether it's fine or not, because remember, it's just not fine for the co-host and the host, and for Donnie or whoever. Maybe there's someone else who says that it's okay, and that's fine. But what I'm seeing here, that some of the mistakes that I've read here that she put out is that sometimes a woman needs to let go of her masculinity. And, really, as I'm reading this, I'm recognizing that some women need to let go of because they rely so much on themselves that they feel that they have to take the lead in that. Not only that, we got to be careful that when a woman asks a man to marry her, to some degree, she doesn't know her own value. To some degree, I know I can get hate mail. I'm kind of glad we're not international yet, but I'm gonna get some hate mail for that. But some women, I feel, do things like this because she doesn't understand her value, or she doesn't realize that it takes down her value in the mind of a man.
I agree.
But additionally, in that article that Avia sent,
right.
Further down in the points, it talks about a man loving his freedom. A man, he doesn't like to be tied down prematurely. And sometimes women, if a man says the right thing, she has the right experience, or whatever, all of a sudden now she's thinking futuristically, and now she's like, okay, this must be the one, so let me get him. And when you start talking like that, then the man who may not be ready to go there, he feels like his freedom is being compromised. And one of the statements in the article says, the key is timing is everything. Let a man pursue you and never try to take his freedom. It can only be surrendered. When a man is ready, when he is ready for you,
Steve, come on.
When he is ready for you, then he will surrender it and won't have to look back.
Wow.
Because he has surrendered that.
Right.
When I was reading
he's giving it up.
Yes, he's giving it up. You're not taking it from him. When you take it from him, then he's holding on to it, and you're going to forever fight that man. You're going to forever fight that. I think that was an awesome point in the article.
I didn't see that in my article. I read it. I read the same article you read.
You have to click into the article and get the rest of the points.
It's not fair. Avia sent you the long version.
No, she sent us both the same version, but you have to click the link in it to get the whole. You know, Avia, thank you so much for the.
My sister-in-law played me.
Thank you so much.
All right.
For it. But I think that point was, and it went on to talk about if he doesn't see a future with you, because when a man sees you, he's looking at how, not just what type of wife you're going to be, but what type of mother you're going to be, how you're going to keep home, how you're going to do stuff like that, right. Because again, he is building his team. Yes. I'm talking corporate. I'm sorry, but he's essentially building his team based on his vision, and he's picking the player who will help support that vision. That's what he's doing. And I don't think it's appropriate for me to establish that team from anyone else, for my husband.
Right. You're not supposed to do that.
I'm not supposed. That's not my role. I come into the vision that has already been established by my husband to be.
Okay. Is that biblical, or is it? And I'm going to ask Donnie, since you're still on. I'm going to ask this question: is it biblical, or is it culture? Is it biblical, or is it culture?
I would say I know there are some examples in the Bible, but it was a lot of cultural emphasis, such as, if a man and a woman were married, if the man died, the next person in line married that woman to keep the line going.
Right.
Now, as far as proposal, I can't think of any examples other than Jacob. Jacob, Joseph's father, going to his cousin, his his mom's cousin and asking for Rachel's hand in marriage.
Right. That's a proposal. It's a proposal.
Right. That was one proposal. I mean, also if you think about it too, Jesus, the church. Jesus came to the church. He's proposing to us. Asking for our hand in marriage.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Preacher. I'm sorry.
And a lot of us, and if you think about it, a lot of us get that proposal, but we are waiting on. Yes, it's completely biblical for me. That's
one moment. So you can squeeze them. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I believe it's a biblical it's a biblical example for us, and if we follow that example, I feel like we will enjoy the benefits that are in that relationship as they were designed by God. Now, everybody may not follow that example. Mm-hmm. They may not feel from their interpretation that it is something that is beneficial for them. But for me and for my husband, that's something that we both believe in. You can't dictate what someone else believes to be true or what works for them.
Right.
However, in our Bible, what we read, and that's what we follow. Like Donnie said, Jesus himself is the bridegroom. He gives us an example of what that relationship should be like, and it does not say the church comes to him. It says that he comes to the church. He goes after and pursues that woman, that church that he loves. So why would we do something contrary to what we believe in if that's something that we choose to believe in?
I was reading Diva Logan's. I was reading her comments in the chat room, and I like that. I do believe that women have a vision of what she wants life to be like.
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm going to say this, right, which is the more reason why I believe that a man should ask a woman to marry him. I think a woman brings about straight equilibrium to a man. Mm-hmm. I believe that a man can be so scatterbrained that if he finds a scatterbrained woman, it will equal both of them out. I think that a woman does have a vision for what a home should be like, for what the comfort of a home should be like, to lead out. And I'll say this much, I'm not afraid to say this. I don't know what I was doing with money. I know what I was doing with money when I was single. And when I started dating Wendy, I recognized when I was dating her that she could take care of my money.
Absolutely.
When I was dating her, not when I got married.
Right.
She had a vision for what money should be like. Right. I remember as a single pastor living at home, watching now. I used to just give away my money. And she was like, okay, look, I'm going to hold $8,000. I'm going to hold $11,000. I'm going to hold that for you. And and as a friend who I was dating, who I began dating, she held my money. So I knew that when, like right now, I know it may sound crazy. I don't even know what's in the bank account. But I know that the bills get paid.
Right.
I know that we're not late on a payment. I know that if I need a little money to walk around with, I'm going to have that. She had a vision for what money should be like, and how money should work in the house. She also had a vision for what I should wear as a man. Mm-hmm. She had that vision of what she wanted me to look like. She had a vision of what she wanted the home to look like. It didn't take away anything from me.
That's how you complement each other. That's how you complement each other.
Exactly. So when I ask Wendy to marry me, I'm asking her to marry me because, I may be the head of the house, but I need someone who's gonna run this thing better than the head can run it.
Right. It's like I'm sorry.
Her vision is great. Her vision is great.
Yeah.
So if she has the vision of the house, the kids, the so-and-so, and what have you, and then she comes to me and says, will you marry me? I have no card. I have nothing.
Right.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph Moore, for agreeing with me. You know.
Yeah, no, I think that I think it's important to recognize that in relationships you have different people who do things differently. You know, you have yin and yang, you have frick and frack, you got, you know, Mr. and Miss Smith. However, you know what I'm saying? However you want to do it.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. James.
But hey, however you want to do it. But I think that if you had two of the same,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's
a problem.
That's a real problem, because either you're gonna be on 100 together and other things falling off, or you're gonna be 0, ain't nothing getting done. You know?
Yeah.
But the thing is that having those types of conversations are important before you propose to someone.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. This girl that we just
saw. Propose on, you don't do it just because it's cute. You don't do it because you want to show on World Star Hip Hop.
Right.
You don't do it for those reasons. You do it because you have invested time and effort.
Exactly.
And you know that this person works with you. You know that your personality, their personality is going to complement each other. The areas in which you're weak, they're strong, and vice versa. That's why you propose to someone, because you've created that environment of support and love and communication.
Exactly.
And you know, for me to watch that video with that young lady, it was just like, what could they have possibly talked about?
Yeah.
Because she would have known ahead of time that that was going to be disastrous.
She probably wouldn't even move down 2 weeks earlier. I mean, she probably would not have moved down 2 weeks earlier.
Those 2 weeks must have been when we just finally got into the same space. It couldn't have been 2 weeks that we've known each other. That makes no sense.
Hey, let's be real. There are people who have moved in or moved from one state to the other to be with someone and realized that ain't who I'm marrying.
That ain't right.
You know,
exactly.
That's not who I'm marrying. And somewhere down the line, I think all of them were probably drunk in there. I mean, let's look at this. Let me bring something else to the table, because I'm looking at something in the chat when I want to bring this out. Let's look at the divorcee. Someone who's been married before. Do they get an out? Not to drop hints, but do they get an out to be able to say, "Would you marry me?"
Do they get an out? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, does a woman that's a divorcee get an out? Does she, because she's been experienced, right?
What does that have to do with it?
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question.
I'm listening. I'm
asking a question, Cole.
I'm listening.
Let's say a man who's been married before, right? And a woman who's been married before. And they've been through their stuff before. Could that woman now go to this man and say, I'd like to marry, I want to marry, and propose?
I don't see how that's different, though. I don't see how that's different, because you still have the same structure of the house. You still have the same structure of the home.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you've been there before and now things are a little different for you and you may be in a different headspace.
Somebody said no twice.
But I mean, right, you know, but the structure is still the same. You know, he sets the vision, you have your vision, do the visions align, let's move forward. The structure remains.
For those who may not know, Landy's shouting in my house. Right
I'm
now.
not shouting.
She's shouting. She's passionate about the fact that I'm very glad that your husband didn't get a proposal from you.
No, he wouldn't have gotten a proposal from me either.
You know,
he wouldn't have gotten one. Kwani, I hear you giggling because Pastor Graham over here starting trouble.
I'm not starting trouble. I'm just, you know, I'm going to say this. Another thing that Avia said, right, and I like this also. She said in number 3, she said, you simply don't get or understand your man.
Right.
Right. First of all, if a woman is going to propose to a man and the man says yes, she knew her man.
She knew him.
She knew her man. I want to take the next 3 minutes out. If we can take the next 3 minutes out. And what I'm going to ask in the meantime, because we reached halfway, halfway in our show, that I want to show this video. And when we show this video, this is a leap year. This is an Irish woman who's taking the opportunity for this leap year to propose to her man. While we do this, we're going to ask you to just give us a call. Tell us what you think, because we want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear from you. And so while we play this other proposal, tell us what you think. We want to hear from you. So give us a buzz at what number? What number here?
347-989-81. I know that by now. 8128. 347-989-8128. 989-8128.
It's like a song. 347.
No, that's not a song. No, that's not a song. No, it's not. It's 347-989-8128.
All right, so we're gonna look at this, and again, this woman, she proposes. In fact, let me show another one. This has to do with a leap day. Let's do this one. Here we go.
You and these leap days.
What's it say?
Dear Steve, words will never describe how much I love you, but I can try. I bet you I can locate her near some music, because I hear music. And I see another sign there.
What's that say?
But I definitely hear music. Steve, I never thought I was good enough to have someone love me until you came into my life. Being with you, we've laughed during the good times. Our colors changed, and that's nice.
Nice colors, yep.
For the trees, that's cool. Here we go with another.
It's the swinging sign. What's it say?
Endured during the challenging moments and dared to love. You never give up on us, your laughter is complete. The love and optimism you have on life is beautiful. Gosh, I can hear that far away. I think I see somebody down there too.
What's
Somebody's trying to be a ninja, but they can't sneak by me, I guess.
I guess not.
Here's the reason why I haven't felt alone since my papa's mind's passed. Wow. Truly, I'm a rock star. I love you.
Another swinging sign.
Unless you're a permanent part of it. I recognize you. I have one important question to ask you.
Before I ask you, I wrote down last night some of my thoughts. I just couldn't sleep. I was too excited and nervous at once. I went on the internet and I searched all these lines and movies and lyrics and poems and about love, and it just didn't do justice how I felt about you. It wasn't good enough. So this is what I wrote down. To me, it doesn't matter who asks who first. I want you to know how much I care about you, how deeply I love you, and how special you are to me. Love rocks, and it's because of you. I love when we both tell each other the story of when a penguin finds its mate, they stay together forever. And I love how you always call me your penguin at the very end. I can't promise 100% perfect days, but I can promise that I will always do whatever I have to do to make you feel happy and loved like you have for me. I will never stop loving you. I will pick you up when you're down like we always have for each other, and to never give up on us. When I stand beside you, I feel like we can face the world together. I love everything about you. You are an amazing individual. I love how you're so smart when it comes to working on cars, and your gifts and your talents when it comes to music. You are a special spirit and a special person to me. I love even when you talk in your sleep. I love everything about you. I love the whole package. You rock my world. You really are my rock star. Every day I get to wake up next to the man of my dreams, and I would love to keep doing that forever. So, Stephen James Stovacek number 2. Would you please be my penguin and marry me?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so before we get comments on that one, we give comments on that one, let's go to commercial. And I'm going to let y'all think about that because she said a couple key things in there. It doesn't matter who asked first, you know, and he said yes. So before we talk about that, let's just go to this commercial.
Hi, my name is Denny Grady, and I serve as the Youth Director of the Potomac Conference. I want to let you know that if you've been looking for an opportunity to help folks in the community, this is it. We're doing it again, Park and Praise 2014. We will be feeding the homeless, giving out free toiletries, and free public health screenings. And best of all, there will be a free gospel concert. All this Saturday, July 26th at 2:30 p.m. You have to be there.
Hi, my name is Pastor Paul Graham, and I'm the Senior Pastor of Restoration Praise Center. We want to invite each and every one of you out to Park and Praise. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors, just come on out because we know we're going to have a great time.
Hello, this is Pastor Marquise Johns from the Metropolitan Seventh-day Adventist Church. Please come out and support this year's Park and Praise. We're looking forward to seeing you and blessing our community. Thanks. God bless.
My name is Pastor Fred from Tacoma Park Church. Come volunteer at Park and Praise and enjoy the service and the fellowship with all of our brothers and sisters in Christ.
Hey, my name is Pastor Damian Johnson. I was at Park and Praise last year and it was outstanding. Not only were the concerts, the music, the speaking was great, but a lot of people less fortunate were there and were blessed by the ministry. I want to encourage you. Be there, participate, contribute. It's going to be a great blessing. God bless you.
Okay, so the video. Okay, so I think Pastor Graham made a good point before in saying that if it works for you.
All right.
So this chick in this video, she, I guess, knew that this would work for her man. And it worked for him. You know, woohoo!
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But then the first
Stop.
But then the first one, it didn't work for her. So she obviously had a little disconnect. But they worked together on it. And that's, you know, it worked for you. Go ahead. Wish you all the best, you know, and whatnot. I think we have a caller. But I think that the majority of people in the chat room,
they are what?
They're not having it.
Yeah.
The man still needs to do it. You know?
Yeah.
The man still, I wish we had someone that would call in and be bold enough to say, I would do it. Just let me find the right person.
Yeah, but you want to know something? If there was somebody that called in and said that, I wouldn't give them a hard time.
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't give them a hard time.
Absolutely not.
Because we're living in a different time. It's
Absolutely.
Like we wouldn't do it because of the implications that it will give. Remember now, we also have a family. We have families.
We have families, so we're not in the mindset of that at all.
We've been married
13 years.
We've been married 13 years.
13 years, yeah.
Okay, so in light of that, we see things differently.
Right.
You talk to a high schooler right now, high schooler will tell you,
Absolutely.
I don't see a problem with it.
Absolutely. I mean, high schoolers now, girls be asking boys to go out.
I should, you know, I have a niece here. I should ask her what she thinks.
Well, while he's doing that,
I'm gonna do that.
So while he gets up. So while he's doing that, I think that maybe this goes back to high school age. He's yelling for her. This goes back to high school age. Let's see what she says. But high schoolers now, girls now, are asking, is she camera ready? Are asking boys to be, you know, to go steady and stuff. Do they still say that? Go steady? I'm going with you and stuff? I feel real old right about
now. Yeah, right. I feel worse now. Come here for a second.
Come on in. Come on. She's like, what are y'all doing?
No, sit down right here.
Sit right here. Have a seat. You're currently live on BBC Unplugged, by the way. Come on, let's have a seat. What's your name again?
Avanti.
Avanti, yeah. So we have a question for you. So our show this evening is about women proposing to men.
Okay.
Okay? Now, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay.
You're 21. Would you, because, Pastor Graham's a little older.
Wow.
And he may not be able to relate. Would you be in a position to be okay with asking your boyfriend to marry you?
If I felt confident enough that I really loved him and I knew that he loved me, then I would do it. Yeah.
Wow,
that's good. You would ask.
Yeah.
You would ask him. See, and so that's all. That's our point.
That's our point.
Like right now, we're in the mindset of we're married, we have kids. I'm not trying to ask anybody to marry me, and I wasn't going to ask him back when we were trying to think about getting married.
Right.
But now looking at a different generation,
it's a different generation.
It's a totally different generation, and they're okay with it.
I'm just saying that I probably would not want
to be asked.
I don't want. Avanti's my niece. I don't want Avanti asking no man to marry.
Oh well,
I said it. I don't want Avanti asking no man to marry her. All right. I would want that brother to man up. That's me.
Yeah.
I know her dad.
Yeah.
Her dad will probably say.
Yeah, she's over here like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what Avia would say.
Uh-huh.
Because we've been talking about Avia. I don't know what Avia would say. Everybody would say, you know what? If my daughter is okay with it and she's confident, I don't have a problem with that. That's probably what Avia probably would say. Avia would not be asking no man to marry her.
No.
But the generation that we're dealing with is a generation that says, hey, you want to know something? I'm confident in who I am. And that's when we talk about homosexuality. We talk about these things that when we were growing up, we couldn't talk about these things.
Right.
So we're talking about a whole new generation where it says, I'm fine with it. Now, I'm not going to put her on blast, but if you had a boyfriend, I'm just saying, if you had a boyfriend, and you're clearly 21 now, let's say you're 25, when she's finished all her stuff, when she's finished everything.
All her studies.
All her studies are done.
Okay, answer the question.
Do you think that your, let's say, boyfriend would feel offended if you asked him?
The guys now, the mentality of young men now, how would they feel, do you think?
I think he would feel a little bit offended. So like beat him to the punch.
You beat him to the punch, okay. Because you beat him to the punch, okay.
Okay, that's good.
I think that's just how boys are. They're like, I could have done that, like, I don't know, something like that.
All right. Well, if you were in a relationship, let's say 2 years, okay, and you were ready to get married, you've been dropping hints and what have you, and he's not coming around to it, do you feel like you would ask? Or do you feel like if he's not asking, that's an indication of what life would be like later on?
Avia is in the chat room and she said, Avia would say, let that man ask. I heard that, Avia.
Okay, but you have proven our point. You've proven our point that this is a different generation. We are 20-something years different. And that is 4. That's 4 generations higher. 4 school generations, I would say, higher. All right? So you've proven our point. You've proven our point that the younger generation may not have a problem with it. Though what I liked was that I saw one of your reactions was like, which means that I don't think you're 100% there, but you're open to it.
She's open to it,
you're
right.
open to something like
that.
Thank you. I love being right. I love being right. We're almost done. But when we have visitors like this, we don't want this to work. Hold on a second. Keep going.
Wait, I don't know where he's going now. Okay, so Avia was in the chat room. Avia is her mom, and Avia said let the man propose. But it's interesting because Avanti is more open. She's 21 years old. She's in college. She's more open to just going ahead and asking a guy to marry. And whereas at 21, I wouldn't. My positioning was a little different. But again, that's a difference in generations, which is interesting. So then that makes me now think of my children, who are much younger than Avanti, wondering if they would be bringing home someone to their father, my husband, who they have asked to. I can feel my husband's steam. That ain't gonna be happening. That's not gonna be happening at all in the James house. So I was just saying that, Paul. I was just saying that with my children being much younger than Avanti, if they were to come home and say that
might not work on camera.
Okay,
stand right here. Stand right here so we can hear you.
Okay.
Stand right here so we can hear you. Stand right here so we can hear you. Okay. She's not presentable.
Hi, Avia.
She's not presentable for Joseph Moore. Joseph Moore would probably say, please keep her online. Very quickly. We just talked to your daughter. Okay, we just talked to your daughter. And she said maybe she would not mind proposing to a guy. She didn't say specifically that she would, but that's the generation that we're living with. You have two daughters. How would you want your daughters to propose to a man, or would you mind them proposing? What's your mindset on that for your daughters? Okay.
For my daughters.
Speak louder. Speak loud. Please. Okay.
I think we are opening up doors that will lead to choices that they would likely live to regret. I think you need to let the man propose. He is going to be offering to protect you, to provide for you.
Remember that? What a proposal is all about.
He needs to be the one to be accepting that responsibility. And I think a lot of discussions need to be had around all the different things you all were talking about, the vision earlier. You definitely, as a woman, need to make sure your vision, because I do think as a woman you have a vision.
Right.
So you do need to make sure your vision is in alignment with the vision of the partner you're selecting. So lots of conversations need to be had, and you need to ensure that you're on one accord before, accepting that proposal.
So this basically is the kind of advice that you would give your daughters. Because remember now, Avanti's a smart girl. Right? She's a smart girl. And what she's saying is if she felt confident that she knew that at that moment she knew what she was going to do, she would not have a problem with it. But while we were speaking about it, she was like, I don't know about that. Or you understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
But in light of that, then it takes, as we said earlier before, Avia, it takes a mom. Right. Because I know her dad. Her dad would not have it. I'm just saying, her dad would not have it. So part of it is how do we raise our children to make those kind of choices in the 21st century that we're living in. You see where I'm coming from? We've got to be able to say, even though you may feel that it's okay, this is the reasons why I would rather have a man ask you. Because a proposal is not just asking you to marry me. A proposal is saying, this is what I'm going to do for you for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's a matter of understanding the roles.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, I think there are definitely different roles. Now, we raised really strong women in my family.
I know that.
So
I know that. That's my wife's sister talking.
It's it's a learned thing to understand your role as a woman. Coming from my family, and I'm speaking from experience. Just knowing, that you got to stay in your lane and understand your role.
And
that's what I think we got to teach our youth today.
Gotcha.
Thank you,
Thank you so much, Avia.
I think we
have two callers on the line right now. Go ahead.
We have two callers on the line right now. The first one has been waiting for a while. The 574 number, last four digits 9218. You are on with BBC Unplugged. Good evening.
Hi, this is Diva.
Hey, Diva.
Miss Logan. Okay, here we go.
Yes. Okay. So this is, I have one way that I would possibly kind of sort of propose to a man.
Okay.
I'm a single mom of a little girl, and she's 5 months old. And in my vision of being her mother and what I want for her life, if I saw that there was a man that shared a vision with me and could be a very good father figure, stepfather for my daughter, would I get down on one knee? No. But would I propose to him? Like somebody said, you know, being the CEO and the COO, she and I are established companies. So in me running my company already, which is my home, my household, me and my daughter, I would be asking him to step into that leadership role and be the head of my board of directors. When a company loses a CEO, they go out and find another one and they ask. So it wouldn't necessarily be getting down on one knee, here's a ring, let's play and have this romanticized. No, this is a business. And I'm asking you to lead my vision, because this is my vision. But we can create a new vision together, but right now I'm asking you to step in and lead my vision because I already have this company established.
So what happens if he has his own vision for how the home that he is to lead? What happens if he has his own vision?
We would have to be able to compromise. Like I said, you know, our visions would have to match up. Like, I definitely agree with what you said about the visions matching. Mm-hmm. But he would already be coming into a home. Like, it's not like we would be independently standing. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that whole, like, me being divorced twice, you know, being in two separate relationships and years and working, but now if he was a single, especially if he had no children, it's a little bit different when you're merging two companies, but you're an independent standing person and I'm hiring you into my company and I already have a very, very nice level playing field of my home and I'm asking you to come run it.
Right.
You can follow my vision.
Right, because
my foundation is established.
Right,
yours isn't.
You have more in stock in that you have a child who is going to be a part of this. I get that.
Not only that, you're also letting him into your company, but you're also trusting him. You're also trusting him that he can handle what you have started,
right,
and what someone else couldn't handle.
Exactly.
Okay. I like your point of view, but I'm going to say this to you though. I'm going to put a monkey wrench in this. And if I were a man and a woman, let me say it again. If I am a man,
right? Yeah.
If I were a single man and you approached me like that, I would be very fond of you.
Yeah, because that shows
very
thought.
fond of you. Oh yeah,
that shows
that's
thought.
awesome right there. Because you put it in a perspective when what you're saying to that man is, I think you're greater. I think you are great enough to handle this. I'm taking a back seat so you can take the front seat, so to speak. But if I were that man, I would be the one to get on one knee and say, with an idea like that, I propose to you that we're going to make this thing count. So what you basically have done, what I'm hearing you say is, you're sowing seeds.
Right.
You're sowing seeds.
Right.
And so even though, as again, I love it when Joe said in the chat room again that, hey, I like that point of view. I do love that point of view. And even if I weren't thinking it, let's say I had a really good friend. Let's say Wendy had a child, because Wendy and myself were really good friends. Let's say she had a child, and we're great friends. She said, you know what, you're the kind of guy that I can see guiding my life, not running my life, but being a part of that vision. Yo, that right there will cause me to say, I think I can spend the rest of my life with this person and then build and propose. But I like that. I like that sense of proposal.
Yeah,
I
absolutely get that because she's coming in with more equity. I'm sorry, but she's coming in with more.
I can't believe you just said that.
I know. I'm just saying she's coming in with more. She has more in stock.
Yeah, and I do agree because not only is she coming in with stock, but she's telling him, "I'm allowing you to handle."
Absolutely, I need to really check you out because I'm coming with 2 hands full.
That's right.
On that, I get that, Diva.
I like it. Because I'll tell a man.
I know that's right, Diva.
I'm not joking. I'm starting a bail fund. If I don't ever have to use my bail fund, my daughter will get it and she can do whatever she wants to with it. Absolutely. But I'm literally starting a savings account that is my bail fund. You touch my child, I'm going to jail, but I need money to get out. So.
Absolutely. All mamas need a bail fund. I support that.
Hey, look, thank you so much. Our time is really limited, but Diva, thank you so much.
Thank you, Diva.
That was all.
No problem.
Love the view. Love the view.
We do have another one in the chat room. I believe the last 4 digits, is that 0800? 301 area code 0800. You are live with BBC Unplugged. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. So what I wanted to say is I don't believe, going back to Pastor Graham's niece that was there, and she expressed that, you know, if she felt comfortable enough and she knew that that was the person that she would ask. I don't think that it is a generational thing, although we are living in times where a lot of things are now acceptable that weren't acceptable in the past, but I do believe that somewhere within the lines, parents stop being parents and stop reinforcing the roles within relationships. And I do believe that, for me personally, growing up, my mother always told me that men are the chasers. Men pursue you. If you knew your value as a woman, you would have every single man crawl after you like a snake. And pretty much that's the concept that I've always been raised by. And I don't have an issue with planting seeds. Personally, like the last caller, it's not something that I would per se do. I do believe that when a man proposes, it means, hey, I'm ready. I'm here to assume responsibility, and I'm here to step up. And if you're not at that level, I believe that it is okay for a woman to say, you know what? I think I'm ready, or I know I'm ready to settle down. I know I'm ready to be married. I want kids. I want that family. That's a seed right there. You put it out. He should be able to take that and know that from this moment moving forward, it's either I am going to get on my knees and propose to you, or I'm not ready for that and I'm going to leave you. And it's up to that woman to know that if that conversation does not take place, or he does not acknowledge that comment, follow it up with a conversation, or in the months to follow based on his behavior, nothing says that, hey, it might lead to a proposal or to a breakup. It's up to you to decide whether or not you are going to stay. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times it's the unspoken that speaks the loudest. So at that moment, as a woman who respects herself and knows what she wants and knows that that is not what she wants, then you have to pick up and move on.
I think that's a good point, caller.
I do too. I do too.
I think that's a good point. That speaks to the value, knowing your value, what we were talking about earlier.
I'm sorry. Or what I would say is parents knowing their value in their children.
Right. I think what is worth more than...
Well, we have also...
Go ahead.
We also have this misconception that everything a man can do, I can do too.
Yeah, that's another show.
But not realizing that it does not apply, and it should not be. If God wanted you to be an equal to a man, he would have given you a penis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
right. Go ahead.
And for me, I believe that those roles should never be, because when a man proposes to you, that is him saying, I'm ready to assume the responsibility as a husband. I am ready to have children. I am ready to give you a roof. I am ready to bring you into my kingdom, into my corporation. I am ready to assume that responsibility as the Godhead. And when a woman says yes to a proposal, she's not saying, yes, I'm ready to get married. Yes, I'm ready to get a ring. She's saying, yes, I am ready to be submissive. Yes, I am ready to be the shoulder to your head. I am ready to be led. I am ready and I believe in your leadership. You know? So for me, when a woman goes out there and proposes to a man, she is now telling him, and this is in my opinion, I I can be wrong. She is now telling him, I am proposing to you, and I won't use the term castrated as Pastor Graham used earlier.
Oh, no, wait. Let me be clear. Paula, I hear you, Paula.
I know.
It's Landy.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, but Landy
I really
said
know what you meant.
Okay, good. It's you, Landy. You better take ownership.
But what she is saying is, I am relieving you of your duties to be that leader.
Yes.
And a woman who does that should not be mad when they get married and things don't turn out the way she expected them to be.
Right.
She should not be mad if he turns around and says, well, I wasn't even ready to get married.
Right.
Because technically, if he was ready, he would have been the one doing the proposing. Because that's what men who are ready do.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And so as you were talking, caller. So yes, first let me say I was the one that said castrated. I'm not gonna put that on Pastor Graham. The
somebody said something about castrated.
I did.
Yeah, he did, but he came off of the promo that we did where I said.
I think he repeated it.
I did.
He didn't repeat it. But there's something that I want to say. There's something I want to say that's going on in the chat room. About women allowing yourselves to be chased. Let the men chase you. Now, and this is the balance that we were talking about before. Yes, men are supposed to be the aggressors, but women don't play games with it. So if you know you're not interested, do not allow him to continue to chase you. Tell him you are not interested. Some women like to be chased and have no intention of giving the man the time of day. And that's when men get tired of the games.
Right.
And that's the part that we need to say, yes, men need to chase. Men need to pursue you and whatnot, but women don't play that game.
Right.
That game is tired. And then when men respond to that in a negative light, then all of a sudden now we start calling them all kinds of stuff.
Yes, sure.
So don't play that game. Yes, men, let them chase you, but be purposeful in your response to that chase.
Absolutely.
Be purposeful, but they sure did. Okay, so we have one more caller.
We have one more caller.
We're down to
6 more minutes.
6 minutes.
And
Okay.
caller, thank you so much.
Thank you, caller.
That was really on point.
No problem.
Okay, so we have another caller. Last 43554. You are live with BBC Unplugged. Good evening, caller.
364.
Yes, that's you. Good evening.
Hello, it's Equincy. This is calling the.
Oh,
What's
boy.
up?
We got a psychologist in the house.
Go ahead, Dr. Gray. What's
Come
up?
on, Dr. Gray. That's it.
Now, I haven't heard the entire conversation, unfortunately, but I'm just going to toss this out there. One feeling of thought that I had about this is that I think it's important for men to do the asking. I mean, I think it's wonderful that women are feeling liberated and like they can have that position and do for themselves. Great, wonderful. But I think asking is a rite of passage for men. Much like, as a teenager or a young adult, the first time you ask a girl out and, you deal with the anxiety that comes with, is she going to say yes or is she going to say no? You get the yes, you feel affirmed. You get the no, you learn how to deal with rejection. This is an important part of being a man, being a leader, because we have to learn how to deal with disappointment. And when you have that disappointment, then what do you do with it? Do you sulk and, take the courage and go home and act as a child, or do you say, okay, well, what am I learning from this experience?
Mm-hmm.
And that is an important part that it goes beyond just a relationship. It extends into so many other areas of life. Learning how to deal with disappointment, learning how to deal with rejection, and saying, that my ego is okay if she says no to a date. And if she says no to marriage, then the question is, why? And being able to ask that question and really get it answered and say, well, why did she say no? What was I missing? What was I not picking up on? That's an important piece, because right now, in many situations, and this is kind of my perception just on society in terms of seeing how many men are getting away with stuff because the women are allowing it. As the women have moved into this independent type of role,
right,
saying, I don't need a man, I can do it for myself. But then they go and get a man, and the man says, okay, well, you can do it for yourself, so what you going to do for me, too? Mm-hmm. It puts men in the seat of being takers versus givers and providers.
Exactly.
When you ask that question, you are saying, like many of the other callers have said for the moments that I've heard, I'm ready to be a provider. I'm ready to handle the responsibility. But I'm also acknowledging within myself what this means, because to make the decision of saying, I am asking this person to marry me, it shows a level of commitment. When you are being asked, I think, and I'm going to say this specifically towards men, if you are being asked by a woman, do you want to get married, then as men, you're like, well, yeah, I'll say yes because, I mean, it's cool, I can go with it. Yeah, I like her, I may love her and whatnot. We can make this work, but it gives you an out.
Yeah.
Because you can always say,
exactly,
you know what, it's not what I really wanted. And sometimes men can be just that cruel. When you are doing the asking, you have to be able to say, no, I asked because this is what I said I wanted. And if it ends up that I don't want this because I see things over the course of the engagement process or later on, then that means I have to man up and take the responsibility for saying, you know what, I made a bad decision and there are implications and consequences associated with that decision.
Hey, Dr. Gray, we only got 2 minutes left to be on the line, but let me tell you something. Sometimes we should just have you end the show.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And I think the gem that we want to leave with is that we do understand that women do this. I know that the last caller did not feel that it was a generational thing, but it also, and I do agree with the last caller, that the caller before you, that this can be an issue where you hope that there's proper parenting. I shouldn't even say proper parenting, but allowing the girls or allowing the men in the young allowing them to understand and realize that this is what is expected in our roles, so to speak.
Right.
And that's okay, and we're okay with that. But I want to thank you so much for this. Because we do understand and we believe that God has given us some roles, as men and women. How we interpret that it can be culturally, it can be how we're raised, and what we expect from what we what we like and what we don't like and what we expect. So we're gonna close off today. Landy, we're gonna close off today.
Yes. So essentially, I think that we covered the issue of women proposing to men. We also talked a lot about the cultural versus the change in generation. We talked about the examples given in the Bible, in terms of the role of the man and the man's vision, if you will, for the home. I think it's important that at the end of the day, the degradation of the role for the household does not take place.
Absolutely.
I think that needs to be in place. And so everything needs to support everything needs to support that. Everything needs to support that. Okay, so BBC Unplugged, and we just closed that out.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Hey, so what's going on for our next show?
Our next show. So this is our last show for July.
That's right, because somebody's going on vacation.
Yes, we will allow them to vacate.
That's right.
But our next show is August 11th.
August 11th in New York.
In New York, we're going to be live. We're going to be live in New York
from Mount Vernon Seventh-day Adventist Church at 7:30, and our subject is going to be, how do you know when you're ready for marriage?
Yeah.
Dating for a reason. And the subject can change, but that's where we are now. We're going to talk about dating and marriage. And we really want you guys in New York to come out.
It's going to be a live show. You're going to be asking your questions live on mic to us.
That's right. It's going to be all over. Praise Vision is going to cover it from Mount Vernon Church on that Monday. So we're going to ask you to just tell your friends about it. We'll have posters and things going out in a little while.
Yes.
So we at least have a month to put it out there.
Yes.
And so again, we want to thank you for joining us on BBC Unplugged. My name is Pastor Graham. I am your host, and
I am Lala James, co-host.
We want to thank you for joining us, and please, just be mindful that your 2 cents count. And when it comes to making decisions, you make it from the pulpit or you make it from the pew.
Yes.
Be blessed today.
Later.
Unplugged. Hi, my name is Pastor Paul Graham, and I'm your host on BBC Unplugged.
Hey, and I'm Lala James, co-host BBC Unplugged.
And we are excited about our next